first we have a responsibility to ourselves to do the work that we have to do on ourselves to ensure that we are, one, able to be the best community members possible. And then I think it's also our role and responsibility to care for and protect one another. So sometimes that means we have to step outside of our comfort zone and call out issues or call out things that are problematic that adversely affect other people.
There's an ethos here in America. We say pluribus unum. It means out of many, one, which means it's all about how I connect to the people around me. Because if I'm successful, it helps you to be successful. If I'm struggling, it's going to impact your ability to be successful. And so social capital is about how we connect with each other so that we can uplift our entire community together.
What I understand now at the age I'm at is that even though a policy may not directly affect me, if everybody's not able to reach their full and highest potential, in some way I'm affected by that.
The issue is all about access. It's not about a willpower to want to have a quality of life. It's about access to the resources that one needs just so they can be healthy, so they can be sustained. And so economic segregation is a real issue here in our communities, where if I live in one neighborhood because of my zip code, I have greater access to resources just to be successful. And so I think that we need to create better equity and tell a story that there are people in our communities that need access to resources. There's a crisis that's happening in our communities, but the problem is the crisis isn't felt by everybody. Poverty is one of the biggest crises that we experience in our communities, where poverty is affecting people, it's affecting their ability to have access to the resources that they need so that they can be successful. Not so they can be rich, but just so that they can experience a quality of life.
You know, we really have to begin examining ourselves and our own lives and our own communities and figuring out, you know, what little things we can begin doing now. I think some of the things are really big, but I think there are some things that we can be doing on a day-to-day basis to help some of the shifts that will help to cause some of the bigger change that we want to see happen in our communities.
I think sometimes when we look at youth in our communities or adults and we look at the difficulties that they might have, we look at the now, but we don't look at how do they get there. We don't look at their journey. We don't look at the obstacles they had to face. We don't look at the opportunities that they didn't get. And also I realize how blessed I am. And I realize that some of the things that I'm blessed with, it's because I had caring adults and programs like the YMCA to ensure that I got supplemental education and a good education as well where necessary to help me to be successful.
Putting ourselves in the shoes of other people and really understanding what those experiences are like. Because I think part of the disconnect for some individuals is not that they wouldn't care enough to help support or to surround, you know, these schools or these communities to provide access to those resources. I think a lot of times they just don't know. You know what you see, you know what you experience in your own environment. And I think maybe part of what we have to do is to help people to see, you know, there are other realities in other places, and sometimes those places aren't as far away from you as you may think.
Topics like this are so important, and we don't talk enough about them. But when we do talk, we could really just keep on going, and I'm excited that in this series we get a chance to go deeper in all of these things.
It is my hope that this will really move people to think about things in a new way and begin to understand what they can do in their own spaces to be courageous, to really do things that will bring change, that will create change, and that will make a difference and have a positive impact on the entire community.